Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Chosen. My name is Staci. Self-care. For some of you, that term puts a huge smile on your face. For others of you, it feels like just one more thing you need to make happen as a foster or adoptive parent. Regardless, self-care is absolutely essential for you to be able to have the space to parent children with challenging behaviors well. Today, I want to change the way you think about self-care. We tend to think of self-care as a vacation, a weekend away, or a trip to the spa without children. In other words, a well-deserved break. Those breaks are needed for sure, but here's what happens. We go away for the weekend and we wish we would have gotten a week away. Or we get a week's vacation and then we want a night off days after we get home. If we seek self-care at every point that we need it, we can easily self-care ourselves out of parenting altogether. Well, back in the day, I was parenting 4 little children from hard places with a husband who traveled frequently. I lived in a town where I wasn't close to any relatives who could help easily. There were days when a day off would have been welcome and needed, but it simply wasn't possible. So I had to find a way to accomplish self-care in the midst of my days. I did this accidentally. One day, I remember thinking, wouldn't it be nice to just sit down and read a book? In desperation, I decided to do just that. You see, reading is my most favorite thing in the world to do, especially reading classic literature. So I went to my bookshelf. I grabbed this copy of Narnia. I gathered my kids in the family room and I just started reading out loud. It wasn't pretty. My kids were loud. They were talking. They were screaming. They were climbing on the back of the couch behind me. They were hanging onto my hair. They were jumping off the furniture. They were arguing, but I just kept reading. It wasn't the quiet, peaceful self-care that would have been ideal, but it did give me a reset to get through the day. That day began this daily ritual of me reading books that were way above my kids' attention spans and reading levels. But it was a way for me to be able to do something that I really loved in the midst of hard parenting days. Over the span of about 15 years, I read hundreds of classical pieces of literature out loud to them. Some days it was 30 minutes, but other days, when I found myself wishing for a trip to Tahiti as self-care, my kids would listen to me read for several hours while they were coloring or playing in the same room with me. Eventually, my girls began to love the time as much as I did, and they actually started to listen and comprehend what I was reading. To this day, they think I did it for them. Truly, I did it for me. It was my self-care in the midst of parenting. My question for you is this. What do you love to do that you think you can't do because the kids are around? Is it crafts? Is it being outside? Is it woodworking? Is it singing? Is it dancing? Is it soccer? Is it football? Is it cooking? What have you put aside because you are in the thick of parenting? Why don't you consider incorporating that as best you can and as messy as it looks into your interaction with your kids as a solution for self-care? As you include your children in doing something you love to do, you'll increase your window of patience and improve connection with your kids until you're able to get that vacation you so desperately need and want. For more help on how you can incorporate self-care into your foster and adoptive parenting journey, reach out to us today by emailing info@chosen.care. We'd love to walk alongside of you. Have a great day.